into our sixth day of the operation. And we'll start out with the PC.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'll start off with a statement which goes like this. It is now 6 days since MH370 disappeared. There are currently 43 ships and 40 aircraft searching for it, 26 ships and 25 aircraft in the South China Sea, and 17 ships and 15 aircraft on the Straits of Malacca. We are grateful for the assistance from around the world. With every passing day, the task becomes more difficult, and as always, our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those on the flight. Trust me, we will spare nothing in our efforts to find MH370. Before I take any questions, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to clear up a few issues. Firstly, being on the engine data. I would like to refer to news reports suggesting that the aircraft may have continued flying for some time after last contact. As Malaysian Airlines will confirm shortly, those reports are inaccurate. The last transmission from the aircraft was at 0107, which indicated that everything was normal. Rolls-Royce and Boeing teams are here in Kuala Lumpur and have worked with MAS and the investigations team since Sunday. These issues have never been raised. Whenever there are new details, they must be corroborated. Since today's media reports, MAS has asked Rolls-Royce and Boeing specifically about the data. As far as Rolls-Royce and Boeing are concerned, those reports are inaccurate. On the Chinese satellite imagery, a Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency surveillance plane was dispatched this morning to investigate potential debris shown on Chinese satellite images. We deployed our assets but found nothing. We have contacted the Chinese embassy, who notified us this afternoon that the images were released by mistake and did not show any debris from MH370. The third issue that I need to clarify is on the FAA directive. The aircraft has been fully serviced and was fit to fly according to engineering and maintenance records. All maintenance checks were in order. The last routine maintenance service was conducted on the 23rd of February 2014. The next service was due on the 19th of June. On the radar signals, it is suggested that there was a possibility that an aircraft had passed over the Straits of Malacca. We have a duty to investigate any possibility. We owe it to the families of those on the flight to follow up every lead, and on that basis, we dispatched extra ships and aircraft to search the area. However, our main effort has always been in the South China Sea. We are working very closely with the FAA and the NTSB on the issue of the possible air turnback. They have indicated to us that based on the information and data given by the Malaysian authorities, they being FAA and NTSB, the US team was of the view that there were reasonable grounds for Malaysian authorities to deploy resources to conduct search on the western side of the peninsular Malaysia. Under the circumstances, it is appropriate to conduct a search, even if the evidence suggests there is a possibility of finding even a minor evidence to suggest that the aircraft would have been there. The fifth issue, ladies and gentlemen, is about raw data. As I am sure you can understand, we would not ordinarily release raw data from our military radar. But in this case, we have put the search effort above our national security. We have shared our data with our international partners, including the US and China, to help with the search efforts. 6, police investigation into the pilots. Reports suggesting that the Malaysian police searched the homes of the MH370 crew are not true, and the Royal Malaysian Police have issued a statement to that effect. Finally, Malaysia's response. I want to touch on the question of Malaysia's response. First, this situation is unprecedented. MH370 went completely silent whilst over the open ocean. We are in the middle of a multinational search involving many countries and more than 80 ships and aircraft. This is a crisis situation. It is a very complex operation, and it has not always been easy. We are devoting all our energies to the task at hand, and I want to be very clear, our focus has been on finding the aircraft. We have not done anything that could jeopardize this search effort. There are times when we have not been able to reveal information, for example, some radar signals, because they require analysis and confirmation by other agencies before they are being released. To release such information before it was ready could have compromised the investigation or the search efforts, and which will add anguish to the relatives. Malaysia has nothing to hide. We have spared no expense and no effort. From day one, we have been in regular contact with our neighboring countries and accepted all international offers for help, to help. We have followed protocols as stipulated by the International Civil Aviation Organization since the incident began. Much has been made about the extension of the search areas. Some claim that Malaysia has slowed down the search. That is totally not true. In fact, we have intensified the search. Again, let me be clear, there is no real precedent for a situation like this. The plane vanished. We have extended the search area because it is our duty to follow every lead, and we owe it to the families. And trust me when I say we will not give up. Questions?
Okay, hold on. We'll start with the Malaysia. Please.
Ramai yang mengatakan kerajaan Malaysia lambat mengeluarkan keputusan mengenai penemuan kehilangan
Daripada
Bagaimana pula dengan kerajaan China yang lambat mengeluarkan gambar satelit?
kita tak nak tuduh menuduh, kerana saya dah menyatakan tadi bahawa usaha kita hari ini merupakan usaha bersama. Tidak pernah dalam sejarah di mana kita lihat begini ramai aset-aset daripada pelbagai negara tampil ke hadapan untuk membantu. Mungkin ada sebab-sebab tertentu, pihak-pihak tertentu yang ingin melaga-lagakan keadaan, tetapi ini tidak akan berhasil kerana niat dan nawaitu kita ialah untuk mencari pesawat berkenaan. Dan ini penting untuk saya tekankan di sini kerana saya agak terharu. Sampai hari ini masih lagi ada negara-negara tertentu yang ingin menghantar aset dan membantu dalam kerjasama operasi yang cukup kompleks ini.
Hold on.
Aziz NST, what do you mean by the engine via data was not accurately reported? What do you mean by it was not accurate?
Well, the engine data, what was reported that the engine data was transmitted, I think long after the last report that received the last what you call ACAS transmission from the aircraft. Based on our records, the last ACAS transmission was done at 107 local time. And that was the last transmission that we ever received from the aircraft.
It didn't run for 4 hours.
It did not run beyond that. 107.
Bernama?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Please verify reports that there were actually one of the passengers on board that had flying experience, background in the flying experience, and also has there been request by the US to lead investigations, and do we have experts to do these investigations currently?
No to both.
On this surface. You're from, please identify.
Ini telah dijawab tadi.
Jawab dah.
berkenaan dengan pesawat itu terbang 4 jam, itu adalah boleh kata tak betul, pasal the last transmission yang kita dapat adalah 1:07 pagi waktu Malaysia. Kita sekarang sedang or rather we have contacted both the possible source of the data, Rolls-Royce dengan Boeing, and both have said that they did not receive the data.
Okay, please identify.
No.
Hold on, that's please.
Dia ada 2-3 siasatan yang dilakukan serentak. Tetapi yang paling penting daripada awal lagi saya nyatakan bahawa tumpuan kita ialah untuk mencari pesawat berkenaan. Jadi semua maklumat yang ada ni kita kena tumpukan kepada usaha mencari dahulu. Dari segi siasatan-siasatan lain yang menyentuh kepada keselamatan, sama ada ianya terorisme atau keselamatan berhubung kait dengan penumpang dan pilot crew kita, ini telah pun dijawab oleh Tan Sri IGP kita lebih awal, dan bagi saya ianya akan berterusan. Dan saya boleh nyatakan di sini setiap nama yang ada di dalam manifest itu sedang dikaji dan diteliti, bukan sahaja oleh agensi risikan kita tetapi agensi daripada negara-negara berkenaan.
Ani, space. No, hold on. Ani, yeah, look. Please. Identify, please.
Yes, as long as we do not find any debris or any indication of the aircraft, we will expand the efforts. We will inform you where and when. And for your information, tomorrow I've proposed to the military to have a technical briefing to the media regarding all the assets that have been deployed, both by us and those from the countries. The technical capabilities, for example, the P3 Orion and all the other vessels will be briefed to the media tomorrow to indicate the sophistication of the equipment that we have in our hands at the moment and how we are deploying it.
Hold on, please. Yes. Identify yourself, please.
As far as this is basically an assistance, okay, allowance, it is the same quantum that we gave regardless whether you are a Malaysian or you are one of our international travelers. Same quantum.
Okay, TV3.
alat tu memang ada dan saya mengesahkan bahawa kita tidak ada terima apa-apa signals daripada semua alat-alat yang ada. Ini yang menyebabkan kita agak sukar untuk memberi maklumat yang lebih terperinci berkait dengan doa dan usaha kita sama ada di Mekah atau dalam usaha-usaha lain. Saya memang agak terharu dan bukan sahaja mereka yang beragama Islam tetapi semua rakyat Malaysia yang pelbagai agama telah tampil ke hadapan dalam satu kesatuan yang amat saya hargai dalam keadaan sebegini rupa. Kita boleh ikhtiar tetapi akhirnya Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala yang akan tentukan.
Several unverified reports from foreign media especially on such cases, the crew are alive and taken somewhere by terrorists and in fact they are held against their will. There's one report that
I have not heard of that particular report, but I can believe it's not true.
so and your saranan for all the media for unverified reports.
I've been consistent from the beginning. Semua maklumat yang di luar sana kalau tidak dapat verification, tidak dapat pengesahan, ia pertamanya akan membantut dan menjejaskan operasi kita. Contoh berhubung kait dengan maklumat berhubung kait dengan satelit daripada China. Pagi ni kita terpaksa hantar aset-aset kita untuk mengesahkan samanya ia benar atau tidak. Dan akhirnya ia merupakan sesuatu yang tidak benar. Ini menjejaskan operasi kita. Keduanya, maklumat-maklumat yang tidak ada penjelasan dan verification, ianya boleh menyentuh kepada perasaan ahli keluarga itu sendiri, memberi harapan yang akhirnya tidak benar. Dan di sini saya nak baca apa yang telah dinyatakan oleh kedutaan China berupa kait dengan satelit. Saya dah dapat pengesahan daripada dutanya untuk membenarkan saya baca word for word, and I quote, "The publication of the satellite image is an accident, a personal behavior to put it in on the website of SIDANG. The government neither authorized nor endorsed the behavior which is now under investigation. The image is not been confirmed is to be connected with the plane. His Excellency, ini Duta China, wishes to reiterate that on our side, we will at the first time inform your side of whatever important developments for verification." Yang for verification tu saya tambah.
Dalam insiden ini kita telah melihat kembali, we play back the recording sebelum hilangnya pesawat dari radar dan seterusnya, dan tidak ada langsung distress signal yang direkodkan dalam rakaman tersebut. Tengok pun tak ada. Kalau tak dapat detect, then we don't know, it's not in our record. The Indian Ocean search, that's why we are expanding, intensifying our search into the Andaman Sea, and we have cooperation from the Indian government to likewise help us in the search in India. Yes, we're cooperating with radar. We are asking our neighboring countries for radar that should be able to help us. That's under investigation.
Okay, now we go to the international circuit. Please. Yes.
We lose the aircraft at the point of when we transfer the responsibility from Malaysia flight information region into the Vietnam flight information region to Ho Chi Minh City Air Traffic Control Center. We lost the aircraft from our radar at that particular stage called Igari. And that's what we know from our secondary radar. And that's it. So if you ask where the aircraft is now, it's easy for us to find it, but we are searching it, the area, and we are unable to find anything on any object from the aircraft.
Look at the gentleman at the end of this.
To be absolutely precise, I think MAS have got to reply to that.
Rolls-Royce and Boeing did not receive any further transmission beyond the last transmission that was done at 107.
The last acre's transmission was at 107. That should not be helpful now in the search of the plane. What is the remaining system in the plane that you are relying on, or what data are you still analyzing at the moment that will help you find the plane?
As far as the ACAS data, that was the last transmission.
No more system in the plane?
No more system in the plane. Yes.
Rather from the Wall Street Journal, can you also explain, when you say that the ACAS data was lost, and the last was 107, can you explain what is the frequency of the transmission from the ACAS data?
The ACAS data is programmed on what we call certain event triggers. Okay? Like for example, upon takeoff, upon climb, reaching the top of climb, and then depending on whether you program it to report every waypoint, right, or you can program it every 30 minutes interval into the flight, or assuming that, no, not assuming, or when there are abnormalities within any of the systems, whether engine or airframe or other things, and it will then send down data to say that something is not right. But the last transmission received at 107 state that everything is operating normally.
Okay, the gentleman from the bus, yes.
So, Kashif from Times Now, my question is regarding the cell phone data of the passengers. Has that any come out of any investigation into that?
We are still doing the investigation on it.
Please. Salman Al-Awid from Al Jazeera.
Right.
The incident principal was saying that there are 4 areas to be investigated. That's sabotage, hijacking, programming with the crew of the seniors. Did you identify the possibilities that you are strengthening one of them, like hijacking or sabotage or other?
We are looking at all possibilities.
Yes, please.
I'm from China. There are so many families of Chinese passengers. And what are you do with them if they're still low without construction? And what's the difference between letting them working in Beijing and working here?
The 20 Chinese family have made a decision to travel to Kuala Lumpur. Like I said, we are talking to them. They are free to stay in Kuala Lumpur up to up to whatever time they want, and they're free to return back to China if they feel that they want to spend more time in China. So we will help them in whatever way.
Yes.
Kehilangan from NBC News. Does your military radar indicate that the plane changed direction at any stage, or was it flying in a straight line as far as you can tell?
First, we have to establish and reiterate, really, what our Chief of the Air Force said yesterday, that there is a possibility of a turn back. The military radar does not indicate what aircraft it is. We are verifying that with FAA and NTSB. Secondly, as strong as the route in which it is taken, personally, I would like to wait until FAA and NTSB look at the raw data, which I said in my earlier statement that we don't normally share which with the others. But in the present unique situation, we have actually released it to them.
Please,
But I cannot confirm it yet.
hold on.
Hi. I've heard many incidents from many sources, and like I said from the start, we have looked at every lead, and in most cases, in fact nearly in all the cases that we have pursued, we have not found anything positive, but we are continuing with the leads that is available. On that particular incident, I do not have details of it. I will check with the APNM.
Hold on, please.
Sorry? We have not ruled it out, far from it. And secondly, we didn't say the plane vanished in thin air. We just said vanished, and we are still searching for it. There have been occasions in the past, but it took months to locate a plane, even the size of a 777. And that is something that we will continue, and I've given the assurance that we will even intensify. Of course, like I said, any possibility. And that is why we have extended the area of search.
Yes, please.
I have to check on that one.
Amen, please.
Hi.
The bottom line here, Minister, is that you have not found the plane. When you consider the integrity of your radar systems, both commercial and military, do you have the fullest confidence in them?
I do, and now it's being verified by the FAA and the NTSB, international bodies. ICAOs are involved. And on the search operations, it's not just about Malaysian assets. We're talking about sophisticated equipment deployed by the US and China. So to say that it's just on our shoulders, I think that is unfair, because the overwhelming support and unprecedented effort on a multinational level, that is something that we should be very proud about, though we need to find the aircraft.
Hold on, Mr. Please. Yes, sir.
Minister, Mark Stone from Sky News.
Hi.
Do you feel, you and your team, that you are any further forward with this investigation than you were the moment you discovered the plane was missing?
Until we find debris or more positive information, I'll never feel that we are anywhere forward.
And to follow up on that, other countries, China certainly, are becoming increasingly frustrated, vocal even, about the lack of progress.
I think you should not make sweeping statements like that, because we've been getting quite a lot of cooperation and very positive statements on their part too.
And a specific question, if I can.
I think we do not want to go into a dialogue here.
For the airline, if I can. Can I just ask whether it's possible for anyone to manually turn off the systems that signal from the engines?
Well, anything is possible in an aircraft system anyway. You can have a total electrical failure on the system, and it will basically not transmit anything.
That is Minister.
Yes, please.
Siva from Reuters.
I see.
Just to check, now, on your military radar, you say there's 200 miles northwest of Penang, and that is not spotted. Now, the question is, the military...
You have to clarify that it's not been established that it is the
Sorry,
MH.
the plot was found 200 miles northwest of Penang. that the limit of the range of your military radar? Is that, or your military radar extends beyond that? You can see beyond those?
Even if it doesn't extend beyond that, we can get the cooperation of neighboring countries that which we're trying to do.
Does your military radar, what I'm
I'm not going to release those sort of sensitive information.
Does it drop off your military radar? Or is it
Those are too sensitive information, sorry.
yes, please.
Sorry from the start. Now, what do you have on your table where you can work on this to trace the aircraft? What
To
tools
save?
you have, on
To
your
save the
table
aircraft?
To trace the aircraft.
Well, I mean, all the assets I've indicated,
What do you have on the table? Look,
the two areas that, and doing the search on those two areas.
just that.
Yes.
And that's what you're going
Yes.
to tell the relatives that you're looking just on them.
I'm afraid that's all I can say. What else do you want me to say? All the assets are all there. And it's not just Malaysian assets, but it's an international effort. And I feel for the families, I really do. I can't imagine what they're going through. But if I say anything more and speculate, I might be giving them false hope. And that is not responsible.
Jason?
No neighboring country so far has said Malaysia has requested data on the split on the port that on Straits of Malacca, the bit that the military found. So why is that? Why is that no country so far said that you have?
I don't know whether that information.
Which countries have you asked? Which countries have you asked?
Please.
Can you name the countries whom you requested for the data?
Which one?
Can you
Like I said, we are working very closely. Like for example, Vietnam from the beginning. And yesterday's press conference, I indicated very clearly because there were allegations that Vietnam is not working with us. So all this information that's coming out, I have to verify on a daily basis. And I promised you that I'll be here every day at 5:30 to answer to any of your allegations. Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, and as we expand our search, we may have to include other countries as well. And when the time comes, I will reveal it to the media.
Yes, please.
Just to
Hold
clarify,
on.
just to clarify that.
No. Please.
I'm Joyce from Straits
Hi.
Times. Are you denying those pictures we got from the data?
Well, I said very clearly the facts is the last transmission we have is at 107 and the system did not transmit any further information beyond that. We did not receive anything beyond 107.
Okay.
We have one more
last question before we wrap up, please. From?
Only when we have identified and gone through the profile of all the crew members, then the police will be in a better position to inform the public that possibility. Because the IGP has indicated the 4 areas that he's looking at. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. With that, we conclude the session for today and we'll meet again tomorrow.